Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. If you are getting the PPT on your screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think last lecture we discussed about how we can find out the solution of second order differential equation, which is called the Laplacian equation, which is mentioned on your screen. Del square E is equal to gamma square E. So gamma is nothing but a propagation constant in which direction your electromagnetic wave which is moving. So whenever the wave is moving in any one of the direction, either Z, X or Y, then it have a three components. So for any particular vector field, it have a three components. So if you see the equation which is mentioned in terms of the Laplacian equation, so del square Ez upon del x square plus del square Ez upon del y square plus del square Ez upon del z square. Okay, this is the similar equation which we are discussing when we are discussing about the Laplacian of a scalar field or maybe a vector field in terms of my Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. So we are just separate out the components Ex, Ey and Ez, and we are replaced with a Laplacian. So if you see this equation, the waves which is moving in only z direction, which have a component is x and y. So that's why we need to only find out the component which is in a z direction. So that's why ex z divided by del x square plus del square e z upon del y square will be cancelled out. Only the z direction component should be the present. Okay. So that's why if you find out the equation del square E upon del Z square equal to gamma square Ez, where this equation is indicate we are just considering to find out the components in only the Z direction because your signal is moving in a Z direction. So now you have a two possibility. Now you are knowing the signal is moving Z direction, so it have a moving in either plus Z direction or either it have a moving in a minus Z direction. And whenever the signal is traveled with a distance, the amplitude of this particular signal is exponentially decrease. So that's why the solution of this equation, solution means we are interested to find out this Ez because Ez is the electric field. So if you see the solution, Ez is equal to E0 e raised to minus gamma Z. E0 is the magnitude of the particular signals which is moving in a Z direction, and e raised to minus gamma Z. Gamma is indicate the propagation constant because the amplitude is exponentially decrease as well as the phase is also the change, and they are moving the exponential decrease with a Z direction. So that's why E0 e raised to minus gamma Z plus it may be possible signal is moving in a opposite z direction. It means the minus z direction. That's why you can mention the E0 e raised to gamma z. The minus minus becomes a plus, so e raised to gamma z. It doesn't mean that your amplitude will be exponentially increasing. Remember it, because E0 which is multiplied with the e raised to gamma z. So the e raised to gamma z is exponentially increasing, but in a which direction? It's in a opposite direction of the z. So this is the solution of this equation, and we are trying to find out the electrical field, which is the function of the time as well as the z. So up till now, whatever we are discussing, which is nothing but only the function of z, you can see we are not mentioned with any component with respect to t, because we are first of all try to find out the components which is in a z direction, and then we are applying some kind of a time varying behavior signals. Okay. So now if you see the second equation which is mentioned on your screen, EZT is equal to real part of EZ e raised to j omega t ax. Now for that you should know the components in which direction should be the present. So for that you can refer this sine wave which is moving in a z direction, but if you see the magnitude will be replaced with a x direction. Signal is moving in a z direction, but the magnitude you can find out in a x direction. That's why they are multiply the component is ax. X is nothing but a unit vector, and they are just considering the real part. And this signal, it's a time varying nature, so that's why they are multiplied with a e raised to j omega t. So whatever the answer you are find out, e x s z, we are multiply with her two components. One is the time varying behavior, and second is in which direction or amplitude will be present, which is nothing but your ax direction. So if I will replace the value of ez in terms of this e raised to minus alpha z plus j beta z. Why it is necessary? Because we are just considering they are moving in a positive z direction. That's why you have to consider e0 e raised to minus gamma z. So if I combine these two parameter and you are separate out the real part as well as the imaginary part, then finally you are getting the equation which is the e0 e raised to minus alpha z cos omega t minus beta z ax. Now concentrate on this equation. E0 is the magnitude and it is multiplied with e raised to minus alpha z. Alpha is also constant, z is also the constant. It means it's have a constant value. E0 e raised to minus alpha z, which is the constant value. But they are multiplied with a cos omega t minus beta z. Either you can consider cos or maybe a sine, both are the valid answer. So if you see these signals, which is also mentioned in terms of the graphical form, which have a positive z direction and the time varying nature, which is exponentially decrease with a distance in terms of the amplitude. Okay. Same way, we are trying to find out the hz components. For that, we have to repeat the similar phenomena, but instead of this del square E equal to gamma square E, what you have to do? You have to find out the del square H equal to gamma square H. So I'm not deriving this equation, but the equation is almost similar. Nothing is changed except this direction. Which direction? AY direction. So hzt is equal to real part of h0 e raised to minus alpha z e raised to j omega t minus beta, which is similar to this one, but the components is the ay. So you are getting this two field. One is the electrical field and second is the magnetic field. And if I am taking the ratio, you may be getting the intrinsic impedance, which is the free space impedance, eta, which is the ratio of the magnitude of the magnetic field. So these are the two different equations. So for the good conductor, you have to derive only this one, either intrinsic impedance in terms of the electrical properties like a j omega mu divided by sigma plus j omega. And you should know the ratio of the intrinsic impedance is nothing but a ratio of the E0 upon H0, where E0 is the magnitude and H0 is the magnitude of the magnetic field. Okay. No need to derive this for the lossless and perfect dielectric. Same way, we also find out for the plane waves in a lossless dielectric, where lossless is by default is indicate the conductivity should be the zero and there is a no loss in a system. So if I put the gamma is equal to sigma is equal to zero, then the gamma square will be replaced with a minus omega square mu epsilon, and your intrinsic impedance also replaced with a under root of mu as well as the epsilon. Okay. See, nothing is changed in terms of the intrinsic impedance. Eta, their representation is slightly different. In this case, you can say eta is equal to under root of mu upon epsilon. Mu is related to which parameter? It's a magnetic field, and epsilon is related to your electrical field. But they are the electrical and magnetic properties of your any material. In this case, they are just find out the magnitude of the electrical as well as the magnetic field. Eta is equal to E0 upon H0. So these are the two different equations. One is for the plane wave in terms of the lossy as well as the lossless dielectric. Same case, you can also derive for the plane wave in a free space. So eta is change, where eta is nothing but a ratio of the mu 0 upon epsilon 0. And its a value, if I put the mu 0 and epsilon 0 for the free space, you may be getting the impedance for the free space is 377 ohm. So I think already discussed this part. This is the representation of the plane wave, the direction as well as the magnitude part. Now, suppose when we are deal with the electromagnetic wave, it's by default indicate that it's a combination of the electrical plus magnetic field. Okay, so the waves which you are deal with any particular medium, which is nothing but a TEM waves, which is nothing but a transverse electromagnetic wave. Transverse means any one of the components should be the perpendicular to the direction of the components, then it is considered as a transverse electromagnetic. So normally for any particular medium means you can understand the any wires like a coaxial cable, twisted pair, free space, optical fiber, each and everything, which have a support the different modes, the different range of the frequencies. Like a coaxial cable support the frequencies almost in terms of megahertz, twisted pair support the frequency in terms of the kilohertz, whatever the why we are using for the connecting the circuit, which are only applicable for the 1 or 2 megahertz. So each and every wire has some limitation for the transmission of this signal. Based on this TEM waves or TEM modes, we can easily identify the which mode is supported by the any particular mediums. Same way, you can also find out the equation for the plane waves in a good conductor, where the good conductor have a conductivity is infinite, and mu, which can be replaced with a mu zero and epsilon zero. So our intrinsic parameter is changed. Why we are discussing the each and everything? It's our aim is when we are transmitting the electromagnetic wave for the different medium. Okay, two parameters most affected. One is impedance, and second is your velocity. Okay. Velocity is also changed, as well as the intrinsic impedance is also changed, and because of this two, your propagation constant and the phase shift constant alpha and beta is changed. That's why you have to derive this equation for the alpha, beta, velocity, and the intrinsic impedance. So this is the equation for the plane waves in a good conductor. Same equation, but they are mentioning in terms of the different way. Now we are concentrated of this two equation, where the plane wave, we are assuming we are transmitting the electromagnetic wave for the good conductor. So equation is almost similar. E is equal to E0 e raised to minus alpha z cos omega t minus beta z into AX. And if I divide with the intrinsic impedance, you are getting the H is equal to similar equation with a divide with a eta. Then you are getting this two electrical field and was the magnetic field. Now, why we are concentrated more on this equation? Because based on this, we are trying to find out the skin depth. So first of all, you should aware about the skin depth. Skin depth is basically what? Whenever you are given the any current or any particular voltage to any particular wire, it may be any kind of your wire, then how much current which may be go inside to your conductor, it depends upon this parameter, which is called the skin depth or the depth of penetration. This part is clear. How we can find out the skin depth? Skin depth is basically what? The waves or the signal or maybe the current which may be given to your any particular conductor, how this current is go inside to your conductor. It means I'm talking about the diameter or maybe a radius. Suppose assume the any particular conductor where radius is almost 1 meter, and you are given, sorry, not a 1 meter, consider as a 1 centimeter, and what are the signals is given, it's only the 50% of your conductor will be go inside for this particular signals. Then you can easily find out the depth of penetration. So next parameter we are trying to find out the depth of penetration is basically what? It just indicate it's some kind of a measure of the depth to which electromagnetic wave which can penetrate in the medium. Medium may be anything. It may be wire, it may be a free space. So how you can achieve it? So for that, you have to take the magnitude part. So just concentrate the magnitude part of your electrical field, which is mentioned with a E0 e raised to minus alpha z. It is a e raised to minus alpha z. Okay, why it is alpha parameter? Normally gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta, but we are putting the beta is equal to 0 because we are dealing with the only amplitude part. That's why it becomes a e raised 0 e raised to minus alpha z. This parameter, which is similar to the E0 e raised to minus 1. Why it is this one? So skin depth is basically what? Maximum value. Suppose you are setting the maximum value is 5 volt. So out of the 5 volt, 37% of your voltage which is go inside, then it is considered as a skin depth. So how you can find out? E0 e raised to minus alpha z equal to E0 e raised to minus 1, because e raised to minus 1 is indicate 37%. So we are taking this value E0 e raised to minus 1, and if you simplified it, E0 will be cancelled out, and from the Z parameter, we are replacing the term which is considered as a delta, and concentrate the second graphical representation of your figure where the signal is moving in a z direction and your component which is mentioned in a x direction, and we have taken the magnitude is approximately 37% of the maximum values. So the maximum value is equal to 37%, and based on this we can try to find out the delta. Delta is equal to 1 upon alpha. So alpha is what? It's a attenuation constant, and the delta, it's your propagation constant. Sorry, delta is your skin depth. So for the good conductor, we are trying to find out the alpha based on this equation, because alpha can be replaced in terms of the phi f mu conductivity, which is derived from where somewhere over here. You can identify over here. This figure, this slide, where alpha is equal to beta is equal to under root of pi f mu and conductivity. So we are replacing this value of the attenuation constant pi f mu as well as the conductivity. So delta is indicate what? Delta is your depth of penetration. How much signal which can penetrate inside to your any particular conductor or the medium, which is defined with a skin depth or the depth of penetration. Now, if you see the equation of delta, which is depends upon which parameter? First of all, frequency. Second is the magnetic properties, and third is the electrical property, which is nothing but your conductivity. So your depth of penetration depends upon the three parameter: frequency, mu, as well as the conductivity. Now, if you see the frequency, suppose assume for any particular signals, you are increasing the frequency from 1 kilohertz to the 1 gigahertz. So whenever the frequencies increase, what is the effect of your delta? Any answer?
Decrease.
Yeah, it should be decrease. Or you can also see the table which is given over here. Frequency which is mentioned with a 10 hertz, 60 hertz, 100 hertz, 10 raised to 4, 10 raised to 8, or 10 raised to 10. So it's a more than the gigahertz. The frequency we are selected, it's more than the gigahertz. Why this parameter is very, very important? Because they are directly related to your high frequency transmission. Whenever you are increasing the frequency for any particular medium, your signal cannot go beyond the 37% of your values. It means for increasing the frequency, your signal cannot go inside to your conductor, because the depth of penetration is inversely proportional to your frequency. And from the mathematical formula, you can also verify whenever you are increasing the frequency, at the same time, your skin depth is decreasing. Okay, it is decreasing. It means your current will just try to touch to your conductor, but they are not penetrate inside your conductor. Clear? The reason because of this one is whenever I deal with a high frequency, whatever the components which we are using, like a resistor, inductor, capacitor, same component cannot be used. Let us discuss why we are not using, because already you are knowing the PN junction diode, already you are knowing the Zener diode, your transistor, but the similar component cannot be used whenever you are increasing the frequencies almost in terms of the gigahertz. That's why in your smartphone, whatever the circuit you are seeing, you not directly identify the resistor or capacitor or inductor or any kind of a transistor. In this case, we are using the component which is called the distributed elements. It doesn't mean that we are not using the resistor, inductor, or capacitor. We are using it, but representation is slightly different. The physical components you are seeing in your lab, the same component cannot be useful. Okay, because of this parameter, which is nothing but a skin depth. Now, this figure is indicate this is our conductor. Conductor have some diameter which is mentioned with A, and they are considering the frequency which is from 10 hertz to the approximately 1 gigahertz or 10 gigahertz. So delta parameter is decreasing because it is inversely proportional. So you can identify the delta which is mentioned in this particular circle. in this particular circle. Okay. Now, from this figure, you can easily identify it. Whenever you have a lower frequency in the sense you can consider 1 kilohertz, 2 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz, 400 kilohertz. These are all are the lower frequency. So when you are deal with a low frequency, the maximum current will be go inside to your conductor. That's why on your screen you are identify there is a 3 different circle which is mentioned the vertically. Okay, and second circle they are mentioned with a horizontally. Just consider the vertical circle. Whenever you are deal with a frequency which is very low, your current which is go exactly your center part of your axis of your conductor. So like consider there is a conductor or any kind of your wire, and if you identify the axis means exact the center part of your conductor. Okay, so fully covered with this particular current. But whenever you are increasing the frequency, you can identify there is some white color dot is there. White colors indicate what? Current which is not moving in this particular cross section of your conductor. But this dark color which is have a some current. Okay. Further, if I increase the frequency, you can identify it the area which is not covered by the current which is increasing, which is mentioned with some white color. And there is only outer ring which is nothing but a some current which is mentioned with a gray color. Clear? And you concentrate with a same horizontal circle. When you have the frequency is 60 hertz, you can identify it. Your current is exactly passing off the center part of your conductor. But when you are increasing the frequency, current cannot go inside to your conductor. And further, if I increase the frequency, current is only just touch to your conductor. Okay. This effect, which is considered as a skin effect. Okay. So skin effect is what? It's a tendency for the high frequency current to flow on the surface of your conductor. So when you are increasing the frequency, your current try to just touch to your conductor, but they are not penetrate to your conductor. This effect will be considered as a skin effect. Okay. And they are directly related to your cross section area of your conductor. For that, you should know the generalized equation of the R. R is equal to, how many of you are knowing the equation of the resistance? R is equal to what? R is equal to, it's a rho L upon A. These are the generalized equation. Rho is your resistivity, L is the length of your conductor, and A is the area which is covered by the current, or maybe cross section area. Okay. Now it may be question, why it is something like this? Why whenever you are given the high frequency signals to the any particular conductor, they are just try to touch. Okay. Now simple example I am given. Suppose you are already performing the PN junction diode practical. Okay. In this case, you are find out the VI characteristic by just applying the frequency, and you are given some voltage. You are increasing the voltage, and you are plotting the V versus I graph. But suppose whatever the frequency you are given, instead of this one kilohertz, suppose you are given the frequency is 1 gigahertz. Okay? So whenever you are given the 1 gigahertz, the output which may be generated by the PN junction diode, it should be 0. Because of what? Because of this particular skin effect. So for that, you cannot use the simple conductor when you are increasing the frequencies on terms of the gigahertz. Okay, how you can identify it? For that, you should know the general equation of the resistance. R is equal to rho L upon A, where rho is your resistivity. For any particular conductor has some resistivity because it has some material, like a copper has some resistivity, aluminum has some resistivity, gold has some resistivity. Okay. So L is your length of your conductor, and A is your the cross section area of your current. Now, whenever you are increasing the frequency, suppose consider the frequency is 1 kilohertz. So when you are given the 1 kilohertz, the area which may be covered by this signal or covered by this current is how much? It's a maximum one. Concentrate on a vertical circle on your screen, fully conductor which is covered with your current. Clear? So whenever you are given the 1 kilowatt signals, the current is maximum which is penetrate to your conductor. So definitely area which is covered by the current is also maximum one. Area which is covered by the conductor, it's also maximum one. Okay. So now see the equation, R is equal to rho L upon A. If area is maximum, what is the effect of your R? Any answer?
So low.
Yeah, it's a low because A is increasing and R is decreasing. R and A both are inversely proportional. So area is increasing, it means your resistance maximum one. Okay, R is 0, it means indicate your current is exactly passing from your conductor because R is less. For the 1 kilowatts, now give the 1 gigahertz. So for the 1 gigahertz, you can see the vertical circle, which is nothing but a last circle where there is a white color and there is a one gray color ring is there. Gray color ring is indicate the current which is penetrate only this region. Now, if you find out the area, which area is larger? Current penetrate area or without the current penetrate area? It's a current without the penetrate area because the area which is covered by the white circle, it's larger compared to your gray circle. Clear? So what is indicate? If area will which will not have a some current, so definitely sorry, area which is covered by the gray area, so you can identify where there is a current is there. Okay, so if area becomes a less, the effect of the R will be becomes a high. So whenever you are given the any high frequency current to a simple conductor, they are not exactly passing from your conductor. The reason is it have a some high value of the resistance. So they are identified from this equation. How we are getting this equation pi f mu delta. For that, they are taking the value of DC resistance, which is R is equal to rho L upon A. And similar, they are also find out the skin resistance, and they are taking the ratio of these two. Then you are getting the under root of pi f mu into delta, okay, which is almost similar equation. No need to derive this one, but you should know what is the skin effect, what is the depth of penetration, and what is the effect whenever you are given the high frequency current. So there is one example where you can identify the skin depth and depth of penetration and the wave polarization. So you can identify the example which is have some magnetic field, have some magnitude part, and the direction which is also mentioned over here. So how can I identify the alpha and beta? For that you have to find out the you should know the generalized equation of alpha and beta, and you can easily find out this parameter. So I'm just skipping this part. You can try to solve it your own. Same case in a second example, intrinsic impedance is given to you, H is given. So what you have to find out? You have to find out three parameter E, omega, and epsilon R. So if I know the H, I can easily find out the E. And similar, based on the omega, you can also find out this, and you can also find out the epsilon. So try to solve the example which is given over here. In this case, the important example is, first of all, if E or electric field is given to you, somehow you have to find out the magnetic field. Or both the field is given to you, it may be asked find out the intrinsic impedance for the different medium like a conductor, for the free space, or maybe any kind of a dielectric. So is there any doubt for this?
Is there any doubt for the skin depth or depth of penetration?
No, sir.
Okay.